Hello and heartily welcome to today's video. I've brought another topic for this week's video, and our topic today is loving relationships. When we think about loving relationships, we may have an idea what they should be like, and I challenge you there to see it from different angles. And I'm glad that you're here with me. My name is Dominika Hansch. Let's get started. Loving relationships, we usually have a pretty good idea what a loving relationship should be, right? So we're looking after a partner that supports us, that loves us, that tells us that they love us, that has time with us, wants to spend time with us, that can really show us how loving and kind he is, and that he really respects us, what we do, how we look, etc. But when something goes wrong and something doesn't happen that way, because we have a pretty long list of what a loving relationship should be, like taking the rubbish out and doing this and that and the other, and when something doesn't happen, we quickly move into a role where we are just kind of like, oh, I don't deserve a loving relationship. It's me. I'm always choosing the wrong person. It's not, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve the other. Oh, this guy he's not really thinking about what I feel, and he's not caring. And the thing is, we actually look for relationships on the outside, and we start connecting to people from the outside. So we have an idea of what it should be, and when something happens that isn't quite the way we expect it to be, then we are angry and we feel not good. But the thing is that relationships from the outside are always vulnerable. That means we always have the chance that something might go wrong, and we are feeling like a victim. We are feeling like a victim of the situation, that, oh, we don't deserve this, or something happens always to me, just me. And the thing is that it's very difficult to receive something that we are not able to give ourselves. And the thing is, if our relationship to ourselves isn't quite right, then we will never find the relationship with other people that give us exactly what we want. How do I mean that? Well, I think the most important relationship is actually the relationship with ourselves. How much self-worth, how much self-care do we practice that we actually feel very good being ourselves? Are we actually looking on the outside like, oh, I have to have a certain figure, I have to eat certain foods, I have to live healthy, exercise, this, that, and the other, and there are loads of expectations that are out there to meet. Yeah. But the thing is, what do I really want? Well, looking on the inside, what we all want is we want to be loved, right? I mean, I have to love myself first. But if I'm unhappy with my looks, then I'm not practicing self-worth, right? If I'm unhappy with my food choices, I'm not respecting myself, right? If I'm having certain expectations of what I should do, how much work I should get done, and how many things need to be accomplished in my life before I can like myself, then we don't practice a lot of self-care and we don't have a self-worth that's really the way it should be, right? So our relationship to ourselves is broken. And because that relationship doesn't work quite right, we can't have proper relationships with other people in the same way, because we can only receive what we put out there. Yeah. So if we can't love ourselves, we can't really be loved by somebody else in the way that we expect it to happen. There will always be a little bit not working there, a little bit wrong there, and then it breaks up again. And that's sad. So the first thing we need to practice is actually loving ourselves the way we are, the way we think we want our life to be. Yeah. So if we take time and we respect ourselves and look after ourselves, and therefore develop a relationship with us, what we really need, what's really important to us, and we understand each other better, then we can put that on the outside, and then we also find a person on the outside that can respect us and love us the way back that we do to them. So what can we do? Well, last week I actually did an exercise and I found that very interesting because it actually showed how quickly we go away from our true self. Yeah, so I think I'm a loving person. I deserve love. I want to give love. I want to share that with my friends, with my family. I want a peace. Yeah, I don't want to have angry arguments and that. I want to have peace, and that's my true self. Yeah, having loving relationships, giving peace, supporting each other, being there for each other, respecting each other. So that's really, really important things for me. But if I don't practice that for myself, and what do I mean by that? Well, if a day only has 24 hours and 8 hours we're sleeping, the other 16 hours we have work and we have lots of other things we need to do or we want to do. And the question is, where do we put ourselves? I tried last week to put myself first, to actually think about things I like or I enjoy doing, like reading, meditation, yoga, going for a walk, yeah, journaling. That would be things that make me happy. But usually, because I'm a mom and because I've got a business, there's so much other things to do that these things just fall off the plan because there's no time for that. And last week I actually tried to practice in a different way, to actually say, okay, the first thing that I do before I do any business is actually giving 30 minutes to myself. What do I need? So I took 30 minutes for meditation in the morning and I tried that every day. And my plan was to give me another 30 minutes if I could manage somehow to squeeze in yoga or journaling or reading, whatever. But the most important thing was that the first thing I did was 30 minutes of meditation. And then the day would just follow along with the tasks to do, and I would see how it goes. But the thing was, that actually changed the whole perception of the day, because I showed my brain and myself within the first 30 minutes of opening my eyes that I'm actually worth it, to spend time with myself, to actually focus just on me, on my wants, on what I need, to actually develop a proper relationship with myself and love what I do, respect what I do. And I was just so amazing, because everything else that came after that, they actually, these things actually reflected what I'd done. So I was loving and caring to others, and I finished a lot of my jobs a lot quicker. So it was a pleasure to fitting in another 30 minutes of self-care later in the day, because I finished other things quicker, because I was just so happy the way I shared myself. I loved myself, and I was then able to give that to others. So I invite you to try that out, to actually start caring more for yourself, and by practicing self-care, actually have loving relationship with people around you and with your work and what's going on. The other thing I would like to suggest is actually practicing self-care in the evening, because humankind has a tendency to see things in a kind of negative bias. What do I mean by that? Well, when we started as human beings, there were situations where there would be a saber-toothed tiger sitting behind the bushes. And when we walked past, well, that was a deadly sin. So we learned with time that there's a bush, there could be a saber-toothed tiger. So I have to be careful, I have to be aware. But the thing is, every time we meet the saber-toothed tiger, we are proven right, and that's cool because we survive. But every time we walk past the bush and we didn't get jumped on, we don't count, we don't realize, it just goes by. So we are putting our position towards the negative things. And that's the same thing that happens during the day when we have lots of things to do. We accomplish huge things, yeah? But because something bad happened, I spilled something, something got broken, or I got late, or whatever, that totally overshadows everything else, and we are just having an exhausting day. even though we may have finished a major project or experienced a major breakthrough in the communication with our kids, whatever. This one little thing overshadows everything else, and we don't realize how good we were and how much worth we are. And practicing self-care, actually seeing that, is a very, very important thing. So how do you do that? Well, take yourself 5 minutes in the evening just to think about the day and reflect. What have you accomplished today? What have you achieved today? What are the good things that happened? And they could be pretty simple. Yeah, it could be like your daughter brought a flower from school and said, "Oh, you're the best mommy of the world." Wow, that gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And the thing is, be very precise. Don't just write Flower Emily, that would be my daughter. Be very descriptive, like, "Oh, Emily came home from school and she was very happy and joyful and she brought flowers. And the best thing of it all was that she actually told me, 'Mommy, I love you so much.'" Wow, when you read that again, when you're feeling down, doesn't that lift you up? Yeah? Or maybe you've experienced something really great this week. On Wednesday, you had family dinner. Everything went well. It was an Italian evening. Great stuff. You could just write Wednesday dinner family. Ooh, okay. But that's not very descriptive. It is not giving you the feelings, the emotions that were behind it. But if you say that in a way like, "Oh, Wednesday evening, we actually made Italian dinner at home. We had a fabulous time playing games, making fun. It was so enjoyable and XYZ happened," and really paint the picture so that you can feel those emotions again, get into this feeling again. And whenever you feel down, you can just reread this and revisit this. And then there comes this feeling of self-worth. Hey, it's all worth it. I'm doing this for me. And because I'm looking after myself and because I'm feeling good, I'm able to share that with everybody else. Because I'm love, I'm peace, and that's what I want to give to everyone around me. Isn't that great? Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear from you down in the comments, so please share your ideas and I will happily answer any questions if you so like. I would be also happy to see you here next week again when we discuss a new topic. And yeah, that's it for today. Have a lovely day. See you. Bye bye.